Alright guys, we are on lesson 3 and it should be on page 12. This is our rounding notes. There's lots to learn about rounding. Rounding is a kind of a difficult concept to understand. It has a lot of steps to it. So I really encourage you to find a spot in the room where you can sit and listen to this video and pay attention to the video because there is a lot of steps. So first off, what is rounding? Rounding means taking a number or making it simpler, but keeping it close to what it originally was. Okay, so the result or the number you get is going to be less accurate but easier to use. So what's really important is you can round to different things. So you can round to the tens, to the hundreds, to the thousands, and so on. So it's always really important to pay attention to what you're rounding to. So here in the example it says 73 rounded to the nearest 10 is blank. Okay, so 73 rounded to the nearest 10 is going to be 70 because 73 is closer to 70 than to 80. Okay, when we look at the next one, it says 76 goes up to 80 because 76 is closer to 80. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do that kind of problem. So how to round numbers. So the first step is decide which digit you're going to keep. Okay? Leave it the same if the next digit is less than 5. We call this rounding down. But increase it by 1 if the next digit is more than 5. So, an example, round 74 to the nearest 10. Okay? So we want to keep the 7 because it's in the tens place. So I'm going to write 74 over here, and I encourage you to do the same. So 74 is currently in the tens place, so it's going to stay the same. Okay? It says we want to keep the 7 because it's in the tens place, so we have the 7 marked off. The 7's not going to change. The next digit is 4, which is less than 5, so no change to the 7. Okay? So the 7 is the number we're worried about. So we're going to look at the 4 because it's right next to it. This 4 is less than 5, so the 7 gets to stay, and it becomes, round down to 70. Okay? Kind of tricky. They're not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Let's look at this one. 86 to the nearest 10. So 86 is our original number. So, what number do we want to keep? Because it's asking us to round to the tenths. So, we're going to keep the 8 because that's in the tens spot. Now, the next digit here is a 6, which is 5 or more. Okay? So, do you see how it has a... We're going to look to our 6. Look next door. This is a 6. It's 5 or more, so we're going up. Okay? So, we're going to bump the 8, let's see this, we're going to bump the 8 up to a 9, and we're going to put a 0 in the ones place, and our answer is 90. So this is really, really tricky. So what I'm going to do here, and I would encourage you to do it kind of down here with me, is I'm going to show you another problem. So the problem I'm going to give you is, let's do 37. So I'm going to round 37 to the nearest 10, so remember I'm going to keep my 3, because that's in my 10 spot. I'm going to look to the 7. Okay? Is that 7 more than a 5 or less than 5? It's more. So I'm going to bump up. So if I'm bumping up, up goes my 3 to a 4, and my 7 becomes a 0. There's another page we're going to look at, and my video is going to disappear, but hopefully you should be able to hear me. Alright, so I told you that my video was going to disappear, which I warned you about. This is a hundreds chart. Now, I want you to make note, you need to write this down, that this chart only works on numbers between 1 and 100. Okay? So, what you could do, if you don't understand the other way, is you could find the number on the chart and see if it was closer, to which 10 it was closer to. So, let's say the number I gave you was, I don't want you to write this part. So If you're doing this, you should not have any of this part written down. Your hundredths chart should look the same. You are not writing anything on your hundredths chart. Nothing. You write nothing from this point on. So, ooh, that was the marker. So let's say the number is 46. If you were using this chart, you would take your finger and you would find 46. It's right here. And you're going to say, is it closer to 50 or 40? So I can see it's closer to 50. So if I round this up, my answer is 50. Okay? So that's how you use the chart. Let's say you wanted to find number 53. Here's 53. Is it closer to 50 or to 60? It's closer to 50. So you round it down to 50. Okay? So you can decide which method works for you. That's all. If you have questions, I highly suggest you ask an adult. This is a very, very difficult concept. Bye.